Hey guys, welcome back to Nikke. In today's video, I wanted to talk about maximizing your gear potential and getting the best gear that you can get. There's a simple trick that you can use. Now, this is going to apply to the real min-maxers out there, but it's also going to apply to everyone to get you out of a really frustrating situation that I'm sure a lot of people have gone through. So what we're going to look at is the arc, and we're going to go over to the intercept. Now, the intercept is a mode I really like in this game compared to boss battles and other games, because the gear that you get from this is actually normally on par or beyond what you already have, which is fantastic, and there is a great incentive to push for more damage in this mode. Now, I'm not going to go through the best team comps and stuff like that. I'm still doing testing, still trying to work it out, and then I'll make like a big spreadsheet of like characters and like my recommendations for slots and stuff like that. We'll do like deep stuff on these bosses in the future, but the thing I wanted to look at is, firstly, let's look at the rewards and why you might want to do this. So if we look at the rewards that we get from these, they actually scale up really nicely. So as you can see, up to dealing stage 5 worth of damage, you get these chests, which can have a chance at the, what do they call this? The plus, is that the difference in the name? Yeah, so the green plus gear, but they also have a chance to drop standard green gear or like just the white gear, which is bad. But then if you get to stage 6 damage, you get one extra chest, which is guaranteed to have the +1 green gear, which is really nice, because for most people, when you're trying to push that level, it's probably going to be an upgrade. You may have a few pieces of it already, but if you're using multiple attackers, then you know it's a set for the next attacker and stuff like that. So it's really nice. Then as we push on into stage 8 worth of damage, this is when the magic happens. You can start getting some blue gear. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to be able to push to this. Obviously, your account level, your power, your units is all going to take into effect. But what you want to do is you ideally want to push as hard as you can. For instance, on my other account, you know, on like yesterday when I was doing my tries, I knew I could get to stage 6, and I ended up doing about 6 tries to get to stage 6, and then I could just sweep and get stage 6 rewards 3 times. Now, how you do that, there's a couple things. So firstly, you can see I'm on 2 of 3. So when we go in and start battle, if you've got the team you want to use and you're just trying different strategies on like when to ult and stuff like that, while you're in the battle, you can pause it and you can press, I don't know why it's not loading, but you can pause it and you can press retry, and that will just restart the battle with the team that you have, and you can keep doing it. However, the frustrating part comes, and I know I've done this before, a lot of people have done this probably, where you go into the battle, but because you haven't looked at it in a day, you just think the team that you're using in campaign is going to be there or something like that, but it's like actually like maybe the bad team that you used a day ago after you've done a bunch of summons, and it's got a useless unit in there. The problem is, if you hit the pause button and quit, it's going to give you the notice, and it's actually going to take one of your tries away. So it's a really crippling thing if you take the wrong team. So that's going to help everyone. But for other people, like I said, if you're trying to just min-max your damage, and you're like, okay, that was bad RNG, I want to retry, this is the team I'm happy with, you can just go retry. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to use an attempt. It's just a way you can keep rinsing through. Now, eventually, I'd hope they'd adjust this so you can hit the quit button, and the quit button won't use a try. But at the moment, unfortunately, it does. So if I went here and I wanted to quit and say change my team because A, I want to try a different composition to maximize my damage, or B, I took in a level 1 unit that I reset because I was no longer using, which is just crippling to your damage, then I want to be able to change that team. Now, like I said, if we go quit, it's going to say giving up now will cause you to lose an attempt. Give up anyway. So it does lose you an attempt, and I just checked it. That's why I'm at 2, because I just want to double check that it still worked that way. But what you can do if you want to try and min-max, you want to change your team up, you want to try something different, you can actually, instead of doing that, you can literally just force close the game. Now, like I said, I would really hope that eventually they would implement that quitting doesn't use a try. Like, it doesn't make sense that retrying doesn't use an attempt, but changing your team does. So it's a bit frustrating. This is a long workaround for it, and honestly, the loading into the game does take a little bit, so it's kind of a little bit tedious, but you know, at the end of the day, if you've got the time and you're trying to really push an account like I am on my other one, I'm happy to spend that time going through the loading screen, getting through all this stuff and getting back into it to try and get that extra gear. Because you know, now that we know that the game is heavily weighted on your team's power, if you can keep getting that better gear, even though, you know, a couple pieces of gear may not seem like it's going to make your team so much more powerful, but if it does make your power level more powerful, that you get a lesser reduction to your stats, then it's going to be really handy for pushing. Plus, if you get those upgrades, then you can power those gears up evenly, like I said in my last video, to just maximize your team power as well. So I think this is a very important thing moving forward, especially if you oh, maybe I can push to level 6 of the damage, but you know, I know I can easily get 5, and then you have really bad RNG and it looks like you're only going to get 4. You can duck out. Obviously, you can retry anyway, but you can duck out. You can change that team. I've been doing that a lot on my other account, doing those retries, trying different teams, different formations, trying to maximize my damage, because like what you'll notice is not just like retrying only lets you use the same team in the same formation. However, if you change up your formation, maybe it means some of the missiles hit a different ally, which they can absorb that. Or for instance, maybe you have 3 burst 3 units. Maybe you keep getting your burst 1 unit die at the start every time, and you don't get to go into a second full burst. Maybe you swap that burst 1 unit with your spare burst 3 who doesn't really use their burst ability, and that way that burst 3 unit is your sacrificial lamb who then gets killed, so that you can then go into your second burst phase and go like that. So it's not just team that matters in these boss modes, it's also the complete formation that actually matters. So now that we're back into the game, let's go over here, close that, dude, all the pop-ups. I should have hit the tick button, but I always swap between phone and emulator, and it always like just re-brings them up even if you tick the thing, which is a bit frustrating. But anyway, if we go over here to interception, what I wanted to show you is finally we can go in here and you can see that I still do have my 2 attempts. Now, just to show you that it does work, because I'm not really using this account anymore. My other account's at like level 62 with all my characters, and it's into chapter 7, and this one's still stuck in chapter 6. Characters matter. Anyway, so let's jump into this one, and I'll just show you that quitting, it doesn't just show you a notice, it actually does take an attempt. So that's how we'll finish it off. But like I said, if you're trying to min max, definitely get in pushing to that level 6, and then again to that level 8 once you get a bit stronger is going to be very, very important. And then just always check once we unlock the next boss what those limits are. I'm pretty sure it's 6 and 8 again, but you know, you can really just get a lot, like it can really help your account progress, because in this game now I look at it, every little thing that you upgrade may get you through another stage, which could get you to upgrade your AFK loot, which can then progress you faster. And that's sort of the theme I run on. But once again, if you're playing casually, don't stress. This is only a thing to do if you bring a level 1 hero and it really frustrates you. But if we go quit, we hit confirm. There's the volume. You'll see that it's just going to give us whatever damage we were at, and that's it. We use an attempt. So like I said, I'd hope that they change that, because it does make sense that retrying is fine, but changing team isn't. But there you go, it used an attempt. So if you get stuck, force close, come back in, and away you go. But definitely try and maximize that gear potential. Anyway, guys, that was a bit of a longer video than I thought it would be, but thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.